Hey, everybody. I'm Dr. Seth, psychologist, and today we're going to talk a little bit about honesty. I'm going to talk about specifically honesty in relationships and how there is a difference in what I would call the levels of honesty, how honest you can be with another person. And there is being a little honest with someone, and then there is being truly honest with someone. Now, the way that I want to talk about it today, the way that I think is really most important is when it comes to having done something that is hurtful to another person or owning what you have to own in the relationship, the part that is about your responsibility, the part that is about your accountability in the relationship, your part. All right. So, to start, it's important to understand that the goal, of course, in all your relationships is to be honest in them. All your relationships, all types of your relationships, whether it's family relationships, friend relationships, romantic relationships, the goal is to be honest and also to be accountable for your part in that relationship, especially when there are problems, when things go wrong, when there are conflicts, and when you have done something perhaps to hurt the other person. So let me just start with an example. Let's talk about an example with a romantic relationship. All right. I will show you the different levels of honesty. This is something that you could say that is a little honest. I know that I could have been a better boyfriend in this relationship. I know that. That is a little honest. This is a step deeper in honesty. This is a little more honest. I know sometimes that I was insensitive to you and I said some things that weren't nice to you. That is a step deeper in honesty. That is more honest than the other quote that I gave you before. Okay. Now, listen to this one. This is truly honest. This is taking that same person, the same situation, but addressing the situation and being truly honest. There were times when I intentionally tried to make you feel bad and times that I was mean to you. That is truly honest. Now, think about the different things that I said and how there are different levels of honesty. Okay. The first one was this one. I know I could have probably been a better boyfriend. Well, that is honest, right? It's honest because this person basically feels that there were things that they did in the relationship that were not right, but they're not naming what those things were. They are not holding themselves accountable and they are not sharing with the other person an understanding of what they did. And also, there's no acknowledgement in saying that about how this may have hurt the other person, how this may have specifically emotionally impacted the other person. It was just giving a little bit. I know that I probably could have been a better boyfriend. That is about the weakest version of honesty that a person can be. All the way to the most extreme, the most truthful thing was to say, I was mean. I know I was mean. Also, I intentionally tried to make you feel bad sometimes. That is giving the other person some validation and acknowledgement for what their experience was. It's also letting the other person know exactly what your motivation was, exactly what was going through your head at the time, so they understand. Now, obviously, it's a problem. It's not a good thing, but that is the place to start, a place of honesty. Only when you can truly be honest with yourself and truly accountable for the mean things that perhaps you said or the exact ways that you were insensitive. The fact that when you feel hurt or upset in a relationship, you intentionally want to make the other person feel bad. While some of those feelings may be understandable and human, it is important that you acknowledge them and voice them, say them out loud to the person that you cared about so that the two of you can try to start to do some honest healing. The most important point to understand is that real Deep honesty in a relationship requires that you take responsibility for your part in the relationship. Now, the truth, of course, about being truly honest in your relationship, especially when you've done some things that you need to apologize for and take responsibility for, it is not convenient. It does not feel good. It is not comfortable for you. But being truly honest and not just a little honest, this is the way that you begin to make things better, better in the relationship. And you also send a very clear message to yourself that when you make mistakes, you promptly admit it and correct them. Overall, you will find that the more that you begin to practice this higher level, this deeper level of honesty, the more emotionally intimate and rich your relationships will be. There will be a true sense when there is emotional intimacy of better understanding each other, really knowing how the other person feels. The other person will understand better how you feel, will understand some of your motivations, some of your triggers. This is actual emotional intimacy, being vulnerable with another person and loving each other and caring about each other through that vulnerability. All right. Well, I hope that this video has gotten you thinking. I hope that the next time that you think about honesty, you think not just there is one blanket level of honesty. This is honest, that's honest. It's all the same levels of honest. Instead of that, I hope that the next time you think about it, you realize there are different levels of honesty and that your goal is to be truly honest, deeply honest with the other person. All right. I also hope that you may find some other videos on my channel here, Dr. Seth Psychologist, helpful. And you can also check out my podcast if you'd like, Insight with Dr. Seth, where I go deep in interviews on all sorts of human behavior and self improvement topics so that we can better understand what makes us tick and what makes others tick. All right. Have a good one, everybody. See you next time.